Welcome to episode 22 of Oscar Sunday. I'm Austin Johnson.
I'm Connor Eyzaguirre.
And this is a Sacha Baron Cohen showcase. Borat from 2006, because it was nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay. And its sequel just came out on Amazon Prime. Connor and I decided to shout out this movie that had that one nomination, Borat. And because the sequel just came out. Also, Trial of Chicago 7, which features a great Sacha Baron Cohen performance, came out recently. What a great time to talk about Sacha.
Yeah, I mean, a guy who's been just a chameleon his entire career, a guy who has gone out of his way to be as provocative as possible. And is remembered, I think he's really considered one of the greatest artists of his generation, because he really does disappear and he doesn't break character. And he goes and puts himself in ridiculous situations and in real harm's way.
Yeah.
I mean, just, the sack on this guy, you got to respect it.
Yeah, 100%. And this is, not just the, Borat stuff or Bruno or The Dictator or Ali G, but his audacity in a performance like Sweeney Todd, or his audacity in a movie like Talladega Nights. This guy, like you said, he disappears. He gets after it no matter what he's doing. And Borat gets a nomination at the 79th Academy Awards amongst some really, breathtaking films, for Best Adapted Screenplay. We'll talk about those in a little bit, but I do want to just kind of go through what you were able to revisit of Sacha. What's your favorite favorite moments? What do you respect most about him as an artist? Because his craft, his skill is really like no one else.
It really is. The closest I can kind of compare him to is Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
He exists in a world that no one else does. He sees performing as a way of life. And I mean, his work kind of speaks for itself. I mean, it's not always, great, but it's always something that gets people talking.
Yes.
And I think if we're talking favorite moments, I think we've both gone through the entire Ali G show run on
HBO. Yes.
And for me, it's when he's interviewing Buzz Aldrin and calls him Buzz Lightyear to his face. I mean, just that he did that is unbelievable.
Yeah, I like that. I love that bit. That's one of the best bits that he's ever done. I love the bit where he is talking to, I can't remember the man's name, the older gentleman, and Sacha keeps fucking with him with the difference between veteran and veterinarian. Jesus Christ. It's so cringy and goes on 3 minutes too long, but that's what he does. He unsettles so well. And we both went through the Ali G, obviously watched Borat, watched the new one on Amazon Prime. Bruno. I wasn't able to get to the Great Dictator. Were you?
Oh no, The Dictator I've heard is terrible. And
is just The Dictator? I keep saying The Great Dictator.
The Great Dictator is a cinematic masterpiece we've already covered. The Dictator.
We already did that one, 1940. I'm very sorry.
I was one.
You knew what I was talking about.
But yeah, that's the only one we.
Charlie Chaplin, actually, this guy would love to hang out with Sacha.
They would butt heads so fiercely. It's ridiculous. The tension on that set. Whew.
Yeah, it would either go really, really well or really, really poorly. You're right. Yeah, because it would either create this fire that's amazing, or it would just crash. You're right. That's hilarious.
Another favorite moment I want to bring up, just because it's so stupid.
Of course.
I don't remember if this was a segment on the Ali G show or if this was a deleted scene from the Borat movie, but Borat's in a grocery store and he's in this massive cheese aisle. And he's there with an employee, and he keeps picking up everything in the cheese aisle and asking, "What is this?" And the guy's just "That's cheese." And what is this? That's also cheese. And what's this? And it goes on for 5 minutes. He goes through the whole aisle.
Yes. Yeah. He's willing to go there every single time. And in the sequel, holy shit. I for one, I'm not that in the know. I don't have Twitter, and I didn't, spoiler alert for the new film. I didn't know about the ending with Giuliani. I had I had no idea. And I was cackling like a child. Like, oh my God, they're going there. He's going there. This is the finale of the movie. You know, you could feel it. It's about an hour and a half in. Holy shit. And he runs in with this crazy outfit, you know, and he went there again at 49 years old. He went there again. You got to hand it to the guy, whether you love this style of comedy, which I totally understand if you don't. Totally get it. Very nice. I get it. If that's not for you, I get it. But I find his braveness, his desire to just make people uncomfortable and make them say something stupid without really, you know, because he's also speaking really poorly, you know, as well.
Yeah.
And so he talks to these people without saying out loud, "You're dumb." He's making them say it themselves. You know, in this new film, he's at this house with these two guys who are huge Trump supporters, and they, you know, are saying things like, "Oh, the Democrats are worse than, you know, than this virus because it goes." He said his reasoning is it goes back to the Clintons because they were drinking children's blood.
Yep.
You know, and then and you know and and Sasha's like, "Yeah, wow," you know. And then later on, you know, a few moments later, he hands them that book with this crazy shit about how people are born and his culture and everything. And he says that everybody's given one, you know, when they're born and this and that. And these guys are like, "Oh, well, that's a conspiracy theory." Like
God.
he just made them call themselves out without knowing it, you know, in this roundabout way. And that's brilliant comedy, you know? And it goes back obviously to 2006 with Borat, goes back to Ali G, you know, to when the show essentially gets bought by HBO and people are like, "This shit is hilarious. People need to see this," you know, and he gains this audience so quickly, so fast. And it makes so much sense to me. But I really first fell in love with Sweeney Todd.
Okay.
You know, his performance, the singing, I didn't know he could do that. You know, go there, which is why I wish they would have let him play Freddie Mercury. That is one of the ultimate cinematic what ifs of all time to me for this generation, for this past decade. If they would have let Sacha instead of Rami Malek play Freddie Mercury, we could have gotten a monumental performance, I believe. I really do. I think it could have been his crowning achievement. But instead, he's this comedic mastermind, and then, you know, he does the stuff in Sweeney Todd as a villain. 'Twas Pirelli's miracle elixir, you know? Like, this guy all of a sudden puts on this insane outfit and fits right in with, you know, Baker Street, hanging with fucking Johnny Depp on, you know, on the screen, and it works. I know you got to revisit that one, and my God, what an awesome film. Tim Burton, I think we both agree that's his last great movie.
I would say so. I think that he's been in this deep remake hole for 10 years now, and he can't get out of it. I don't think he's trying. That's the weird thing. Like he's kind of just given up, it feels like. But that's a whole nother podcast.
No kidding.
Sweeney Todd is such an interesting film because it's one of the few films where there are no heroes. It's a film where everybody is a monster in their own way. And Sacha Baron Cohen's character, Pirelli, this fake Italian barber, is just an absolute con man scumbag who's abusing this kid and selling his own piss as an elixir to grow your hair back. It's so perfect. I can picture, you know, Borat just being there doing that exact thing.
There you go.
He was so well cast.
Oh, extremely. Everyone was. You know, obviously Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter are both wonderful, but you know, Timothy Spall and Alan, you know, our boy Alan Rickman, you know, come on, like this guy is doing amazing stuff in that movie. I think it's really underrated what he's doing in that movie at this point.
Oh yeah.
You know, of course folks are going to remember Harry Potter. Of course they're going to remember Snape. Good God, you know, pretty women. I dare you to watch that scene and not just, you know, get chills. Just get chills with these two wonderful performers doing this crazy bit inside this tiny room with this extremely Tim Burton like set again in England, in London, Baker Street. So cool. I love that. That movie's awesome.
It is great. And Alan Rickman, I do agree, is an underrated performer in that film, especially because of how sinister the character is supposed to be. I mean, he's a guy who sent a barber away to prison so he could take his wife, rapes his wife, drives her to madness, takes the daughter, raises her so he can marry the daughter. It's so fucked up, like beyond fucked up, even for Victorian London.
Oh, it's so dark.
I mean, he actually makes Sweeney Todd look relatable. I mean, that's kind of amazing. The guy who's slitting throats and helping this psycho make people into pies, and he's a hero.
These are probably the worst pies in London.
I hate that song so much for one reason.
What's that reason?
My first year in college, I picked a dorm that I thought was for the honors college. Turns out it was, but it was also for the theater majors. And I heard this one girl sang the fucking Worst Pies in London song every single day on my floor. And I hate it so much. I know all the words to that goddamn song. And it's, oh my God. Every time I hear that song, I cringe and I get really just pissed. It's like Pavlov's fucking dog. It's ridiculous.
Oh God, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
That movie just constantly brings me back to there. I'm like, fucking.
Do you ever feel like you need to skip that scene?
No, because it's a great scene. It's so gross, but it's so necessary to the plot. And I can't.
How about what's that the boy's name?
Toby.
The actor, do you know? That guy is incredible in that movie. His voice is crazy good.
Yeah, he is good. I looked into him. When I was watching the movie, I looked into him. He never did anything else really. He just
that's what I was wondering. That's 13 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So tough beat. Let's go back 14 years ago, same year as Borat, Talladega Nights.
Yes.
Ricky Bobby, you love that movie, right? Am I correct?
I do love that movie.
Yeah, and I'm into it. I'm way more into Step Brothers, but I'm into it. There's some scenes that are really funny and definitely crack me up. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly just have that bam bam. They have that 1-2 that I adore, and they work super well together. And I think people forget John C. Reilly has this kind of base in these kind of crazy movies from the 90s and stuff, especially Magnolia and doing dramatic roles. And he was, Gangs of New York. His skill is a lot higher than I think people realize, right? Yeah. But his comedic timing with Will Ferrell is like his best trait. So it works the best. And that movie, Sacha is essential because when he comes in, the movie needs something. It's like, okay, we're, all right, this is becoming a bunch of SNL skits in a row. We need someone to mix it up. And Sacha does it. He's the what's the term? The variable. He will turn your movie into something completely different. He is really good at just bringing it. He's got this it factor that like very few people in Hollywood have, where all his characters are such an oddball mixture of so many different things, and they always stand out. And Jean Girard in Talladega Nights is it's the antithesis of Ricky Bobby, the all-American dude, and then you've got this gay Frenchman who is just as good a racer. And it's like a yin and yang thing. It's done so well. Yeah. I love that scene when he, comes into the bar where they're playing pool. That's probably my favorite scene of the movie. I just think it's hilarious because of, Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly are totally willing to make fun of themselves and make fun of Americans, like Southern Americans. They're like Taco Bell, tacos and we are all this stuff. Yeah. It's incredible. So I just think that range and that ability to kind of raise a movie no matter what's happening, whether it be this evil villain in Sweeney Todd or this, like you said, antithesis for Ricky Bobby. So funny. I love that he can do that in 2 years and have Borat come out at the same time. Pretty remarkable. Bruno, he plays a Austrian reporter, gay reporter, right? I mean, I don't really know exactly. That the outfit alone is like, what are we doing?
So Bruno, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched Ali G, I would usually skip Bruno's parts. I never really liked Bruno.
Yeah,
I thought it was too much of a caricature. Like he's not really saying anything with this guy. And Bruno the movie was, holy shit, the most like gross out, unbelievably over the line movie I've ever watched. I couldn't believe he got that thing greenlit.
I know. Just 3 years later.
There is like a minute long scene of just a swinging dick. That,
yeah.
I don't understand. He is walking around a real orgy that's happening at a swingers party and giving notes to the guys. Like, what the fuck? And this isn't like rated X. I mean, this got an R rating. It's actually, I think he was just trying to prove like, how far can I really go? Like,
100%.
Before somebody pushes back. And
yeah, he keeps doing that. He's done that time and time again. And it's
but Bruno is a whole new level of that.
Yes. Oh, Bruno, because Bruno, you can see how it's the most over the line, the most annoying character that he does. So yeah, if you're like, oh my God, this guy, please. Like you're about to do something just so ridiculous and so appalling, you know? And he's insane. The hair. It kind of reminds me a little bit of what's the Bill Hader bit that he would do on SNL? Yeah, Stefan. Yeah, it reminds me a bit of that because the hair. Yeah, that like kind of sandy.
Well, it's that.
God,
it's
so funny.
It's the suits with like dicks on the suits, and it's just like it's in walking around in public, and like when he goes to like a I can't believe he did this. Like the fact that he didn't get killed when he goes to the South. Goes to a gay conversion minister and tells him he has great blowjob lips. Like, what the fuck, man? I mean, it really is incredible what he's capable of and what he is willing to put himself through for entertainment.
Yeah, in front of a camera. Yeah, like, good God. This guy.
God damn.
Bruno is insane. And it's definitely a more acquired taste.
And we should clarify. Not everybody who knows Borat knows about the Ali G show. A lot of them.
No.
Yeah. Borat kind of turned him into a pop culture superstar in a way that I don't even think he anticipated.
No. I mean, yeah, he has so many characters, right, that he's capable of kind of playing. And this one just kind of hit out of nowhere. Like, it just kind of was the one that Well, out of nowhere, it's the Bush era. It's the Bush era, and then it's the Trump era. Like, of course, this makes sense that he would try to expose, Americans during those specific times, which of course bothers people. Of course, obviously, that's his goal, and it works. It's worked both times.
Yeah. Ali G. The Ali G show was an HBO series, ran for about 2 seasons, I think, where Sacha Baron Cohen played 3 distinct characters. There was the host, Ali G, this quote-unquote black rapper wannabe guy, this gangsta from like South London, who just interviews unsuspecting people who don't realize they're being interviewed by a complete fucking buffoon. And then there was Borat, Kazakhstani news reporter, who is supposed to be this Middle Eastern goof. And then there's Bruno, gay fashionista from Austria, who puts people into very bizarre situations. And those were the 3 characters from Ali G. And they each got their own movie after the show was canceled. Borat, of course, in 2006, Bruno in 2009, but it started with Ali G in the house in 2002.
Yes.
And I literally just finished watching that, down to the wire.
Yeah, I just watched it earlier too. Yes.
And it was super fucking ridiculous. Contained some scenes I can't believe they got away with. And still, pretty funny. I gotta say. Something about
Oh my God, yeah. And you know, I used to, like in high school, I would like walk around, booyakasha. Like I would actually say that stuff out loud, like when I was, 16, 17. Like that was part of my language. Like, was this guy, like how ridiculous he was. And then of course, when you have like the cool crossover of Borat, which we're gonna be talking about a ton today, is like when Borat goes, "What's up with it, Vanilla Face?" And you're like, "Oh my God, that was a little bit of Ali G. Holy shit!" And it's so cool, when you are rewarded like that, because he's incisive as fuck. This guy, Sacha Baron Cohen, and I think that's why we both like Bruno the least, is because Bruno is the least incisive of the characters, because the other characters get people again so uncomfortable and to say crazy shit that they don't even realize they look stupid.
Yeah.
And that's the genius of it.
Well, not just that, but Borat especially, he went to like the darkest sides of American culture and really exposed the horrific shit that is believed in our country. I mean, in that movie, in the first one at least, he interviews people who are like perfectly, willing to hang Jews for just, for no reason, to be Jewish. They openly want to kill gay people. Like, and that was 2006, and it has not gotten better. 2020 Borat, Jesus Christ. I mean, he goes after QAnon idiots. He goes after the maskless Trumpers, like wackadoodles galore. It's amazing. And he really, with very little effort on his part, honestly, like he lets these people talk themselves into a corner.
Exactly. And I feel like Bruno is the one that has to force it the most, because that's that's the character. Whereas, I can't believe how genius and incisive, as I've gotten older, I'm like, oh my gosh, some of this stuff that he slips in there and that he just gets these people to say is the maskless rally was mind-boggling. But why? Why is it? We see the stuff on the internet, we see it on the news, and then you're introduced to these two guys, and they actually go to this thing, and he gets on stage and sings that crazy ass song. And people are singing with him, singing about chopping up, people like the Saudis do. What? And you're like, why am I fucking surprised, in this era and what's going on right now and what's just allowed outside to just happen within our society and culture is like, what is going on? Like,
the crazy,
and he exposes it, like you said.
The craziest thing about this new movie is that it might actually have an impact on an election. That's the craziest shit. Like, this movie exposed one of Trump's closest advisors, Rudy Giuliani, exposed him about to have sex with a 15-year-old girl. I mean, he says he was tucking in his microphone, like he was tucking in his shirt after taking off his microphone. I saw the movie. He had his hand right down his pants. He knew exactly what he was going to do. And he can walk it back as much as he wants, but this film, like, it hit him. It hit him hard. And we're like, a few days from the election. And I think some people are going to remember that that connects to Trump. It's that whole circle. And
this is the conversation that, and I knew that last bit was going to affect you and you were going to like it a lot. That last line, when it challenges you, vote or you'll be executed. Like, it's funny, but it's like, seriously, go fucking vote. It's saying that, the movie's saying that. And the great dictator does the same thing. And it essentially does the same thing. Participate, sort of, in your culture, in your society. And I know you love that. I know. And when the movie finished, I was like, man, I bet Connor loved that ending. and I did too, of course. I mean, Giuliani is a guy who's been made fun of in pop culture for so long, so long, years, decades. And then, like you said, he can say whatever he wants, but the fact that it got to this point, I'll say it, it's an achievement for Sacha Baron Cohen. It's an achievement for this movie. It's an achievement for Amazon Prime, like getting it, putting on their service, and this is our movie. It's the funniest movie of the year. And look at this insane ending. Like you said, this guy who's one of Trump's main advisors has no way to get out of this corner. No way.
Well, there's a scene in the movie where they're talking about And I know we're spoiling Borat too, but
oh yeah, I said that a long time earlier. Yeah, I mean,
we were
yeah,
gonna talk about this. There's no way we weren't.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the movie where they're like the plot of the movie is basically Borat's trying to go deliver his daughter as a gift to Vice President Pence. And when he can't do that, which again, insane that he fucking pulled that off, ran into a Republican rally with a girl over his shoulder in a Trump costume and said, "Michael Pence, I have gift for you." Like, what the fuck, man?
Mike, you fired.
That was on the news back in the summer, and nobody knew it was Sacha back then. Unreal.
Yeah, I barely remember that happening. You know, I do remember like there being memes of Mike Pence's face because he's just like, you know, like he just saw the devil or something. Like, what the fuck? And wow, what a moment! What a moment in the movie where I look when he's running through the hall and people are just, what?
When he walks in there in a fucking Klan robe and is like, "Where can I find the vice president?" Like, what the fuck? I love it.
I'll say one more silly bit before we move on to another film that he was in recently. The part where he is getting an iPhone.
Oh,
with that's where we get introduced to Brian, who becomes really essential later on in the movie. He's never, you know, known that, you know, you could just do anything with like the internet browser and look up whatever you want. And he doesn't realize that it's on the screen right in front of him. So he goes, you know, when he's like, I'm going to the restroom, you stay here. And then he starts typing and Brian can see everything that he's doing. He's like, oh, I think he's figuring it out.
Well, this movie also, it's very detrimental to modern Republican culture because it really shows how far they've fucking sunk. I mean, in the Pence rally scene, and that's a real rally. That's really Michael Pence doing a rally. He says it was back in March, and he said we have 15 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the United States, and we are handling it. And I'm sitting. I audibly went, "Fuck you!" Like I got really pissed off knowing. The 230,000 Americans who would die in the subsequent months, and it's just I don't know. I just really hope that we do the right thing this election. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up real soon. This episode, you know, it'll be even sooner. We're recording this on late Friday night, you know, October 30th. So right before Halloween. So yeah, you're right, man. You know, you would hope it's coming up real soon.
Yeah.
I'll bring up. Let's stay serious here for a minute. Another movie that's very timely: Trial of the Chicago 7, written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, featuring a lot of good performances. But we're going to talk about Sacha.
Yes.
Who I think wins the movie ultimately for me from a performance standpoint. My favorite moment is John Carroll Lynch's little bit, but overall, Sacha is pretty lights out.
Well, Sacha's kind of the heart and soul of this whole movement. He's, you know, the guy who is willing to lay down his life for the cause. He says that. And, you know, Abby Hoffman was a real revolutionary who ended up taking his own life later in life. But during this time, he was looked at as a leader. And Sacha Baron Cohen, I think, does an amazing job balancing his humor with the seriousness of the story. And it is a lights out performance. I would not be surprised if he wins the Oscar next year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think he proved to a lot of people that maybe haven't seen some of his other stuff or don't quite understand what he's doing. I think they saw something that we've known is there, like you and I have known is there deep down.
Yeah.
But goddamn, it's so special to see actors work with Sorkin.
Yeah.
Because they can finally try to get the cadence, try to get that thing that Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson perfected back in 1992, and try to do it again. Try to redo that. Oh man, you know, it's one of my favorite things in American movies is when the right actor gets paired with an Aaron Sorkin script. It's like, oh boy. It's something else. And Sacha has it. Sacha has the cadence. He has the desire to say and believe what he's saying within the character, right? And because he's done it so many times before. And I can't wait. And this is one of the greatest things you can say about an actor, performer, director, writer, whatever it may be, any creator, any musical artist. I cannot wait to see what he does next.
Yes, indeed. Especially since nobody knew about Borat 2 until like a month ago. Like he filmed it entirely in secret, ended up being one of the year's biggest hits, really.
Yeah. And I think if a movie's had the award of MVP like sports do, you got to look at Sacha for 2020. Monstrous performance in a really, really dramatic role, a courtroom drama, and then he comes out with Borat 2, which is maybe better than the first one. Holy shit.
It's crazy. Like I said in my review, like if you told me, and after all the crazy shit that's happened this year, that the most surprising thing that would happen is the return of Borat, I would have told you to go fuck yourself. Who knew that Borat was the hero we needed?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I definitely thought about like, oh, is this what we need right now? And then it was like, oh shit, yeah, we do. Trump era. Oh my god, he did this during Bush era, and exposed people. And he's going to do it even further. So yeah, why not? It's craziness. I do want to move along to that Oscar nomination that Borat got.
Yes.
Woo! We have visited the 79th Academy Awards for the episode on Little Miss Sunshine.
Yes.
And we talked about a bit there. Obviously, Alan Arkin won the award there. Little Miss Sunshine was up. Won for Best Original Screenplay, and we were able to see the other movies in that group. Over here, Best Adapted Screenplay. The Departed wins, but you have Notes on a Scandal, Little Children, Children of Men, and then Borat.
One of these things is not like the other.
Which one? So yeah, to give some people Notes on a Scandal, I have not seen, but apparently a pretty serious movie. Little Children is Todd Field's follow-up, and he only has 2 films. His follow-up to In the Bedroom, which we did early on in this show for Oscar Sunday. Incredible movie, and I want to see Little Children so bad. We'll do it on the show one day. Those are only 2 feature-length films that he's directed. And he's also, he writes them, right? And then you have Children of Men, Alfonso Cuarón. Like, come on. You can make an argument that that's the best movie from 2006. And I have no qualms with that. And then you have Departed winning. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Cool movie. And then Borat, man. Holy hell. How did it do it?
I have no fucking clue. This movie is almost storyless. It's most of it is improvised situations with real people. So I don't understand where this came from. I mean, maybe the novelty of it got to the Oscars. I don't know. I have no clue why this is here. I do not, as much as I do like Borat, I do not think it deserves this nomination at all.
No, and this is one of those weird ones. We've talked about these screenplay awards have been so strange for so long, and this is, adapted screenplay for, characters created by Sacha Baron Cohen. This isn't like a book, where Alfonso Cuarón and all these other guys adapted, a screenplay out of, the book of the same name by P.D. James. Like, that's a way different scenario, right?
Yeah.
Way different. And so it's so strange for me as we look back on this category specifically, these categories, the screenplay categories, have they changed over time? They're so confusing. Maybe one of the most confusing categories because of those we talked about Whiplash. That was a short, like, what are we doing? I don't really like that stuff. To me, Borat should have been in the running for original screenplay, but not nominated.
I don't think it should have been up for that either. I think that
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But if it were up for something,
okay.
I think it should have been original, just like Whiplash. Like, I don't really like how we have those little, but it's based on these characters. But it's his own shit. And like, come on, I don't know.
I think, films like, for example, Joker, 2019, not based on anything at all, wholly original story, but because the character of the Joker and Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne are all owned by DC, they are existing properties, so it is adapted. It's weird. It should be the story itself considered, not characters. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's weird.
It's a weird one that I will get brought up again, because it's something that we'll always talk about.
Yes, indeed. So for that year, I think there's one film that not only deserved a spot in the best adapted screenplay list, I think it should have won.
Okay.
And that is Christopher Nolan's The Prestige.
Yeah, I knew it.
Based on the novel by Christopher Priest. Amazing film. Why the hell was this shut out?
Because Borat got one. That's exactly it. Yeah, you take Borat out and replace it. Yeah, that's a great shout. 2006 has some awesome movies, and you can really just look it up, 2006 in film, and be like, whoa, there's a lot of them that probably should have got a spot here.
Yes, indeed. It's almost like it was like they were trying to appeal to to regular movie fans or something. They're like, hey, Borat was a big hit this year. Let's give him something. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I keep coming to a brick wall.
Yeah, and then they didn't have the balls to put him up for best actor. So they're like, let's do screenplay.
Yeah, exactly. And if anything, it should have been best actor.
Oh, 100%. And he would have been in a group with Will Smith, Peter O'Toole, Ryan Gosling, Leonardo DiCaprio, and the winner, Forrest Whitaker. So if you had to take one out, who would it be?
All right. I've only seen 2 of these movies. I'd have to, probably Peter O'Toole.
Yeah, I that's actually the only one I haven't seen of that group. So I guess by default, I'd take it out.
Sorry.
I mean, Leo's really good. Gosling, that's, to me, one of the better performances of the century. And then Will Smith is pretty good in Pursuit of Happiness. It's probably my favorite performance of his career.
Yeah, I think so. Borat is such an anomaly. It's not really it's not a traditional movie. It does not belong with all this stuff, but it was recognized. And yeah, that's why we're talking about it today.
Yeah, honestly, the show we explained a bit last week with the Henry Fonda stuff. We're changing gears a bit and focusing more on an individual, and then the movie, and kind of making an easier conversation to talk about people's careers.
Yes.
And we were thinking of, oh man, like that new Borat movie. Holy shit, it had that nomination. Let's go ahead and do it. Why not? And we also think that he is one of those performers that's so special for this generation that we should talk about him.
Yes.
And I feel great that we took the time to kind of do that and dive back into his stuff. My final question before we move on to our awards for Borat from 2006. What is your favorite Sacha Baron Cohen role?
My favorite Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah, movie, film. We'll just keep it tight. Yeah.
Okay. As much as I do enjoy watching him show up weird American strangers, I gotta say it's probably Sweeney Todd.
I love it.
Yeah, there's something about Pirelli that just the chemistry with Depp is so good in the brief bit that he does have. And his song, there was a brief time where I had his Barber song on my iPod. Like the only song from a musical I've ever had on my iPod.
Yeah.
And it's just, I always liked that character. And I could see that he really brought his A game. Because not only is he's singing in fake Italian. Like he's playing a Cockney Englishman, playing an Italian con man, singing while shaving a guy's face. That's a pretty layered performance, and I really admire that.
Oh my God, yeah. A layered performance within, the Tim Burton setting. It's perfect. Yeah. It's a perfect match. It's a great call.
I love when he shows up to Todd's parlor, and Todd's like, oh, Signor Pirelli, what are you doing here? And he just goes, call me Davey. Like a straight up London accent. I'm like, I laugh every time. Oh yeah, Sweeney Todd. What is yours?
It would, this might sound recency bias, but I'll say I think Abby Hoffman.
Yeah.
I think when I look back, obviously I'm a sucker for Sorkin, and when I look back at, say 5 years from now, and I look back, I just think that's a role that I'll be able to rewatch and just kind of be like, do you see what he's doing there? I just rewatched, A Few Good Men last night, and it's like, holy shit, these guys it's a match made in heaven when you have a writer who knows what he's doing and understands what cinema is, and then has these actors who are, the skill level is so high, and Sacha is now in that group. Along with Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill and Jesse Eisenberg and Michael Fassbender and Seth Rogen, and Jessica Chastain and all these amazing, Michael Douglas, Annette Bening, all these amazing, Philip Seymour Hoffman, all these awesome actors, and Sacha is now in that group, and it gives me chills, and I'll never forget that moment when I watched that movie on Netflix during this weird ass year when we can't go to the theater and enjoy everything we want to enjoy. I look at it glasses half full, and I enjoyed the hell out of that movie, and I was grateful for it. And he's a big reason why.
Well said. It's a masterpiece in the making, and I can't wait to see what love the Oscars show it, because God knows it's going to be up for a lot.
Yeah, and of course, whenever it does get those nominations, it will therefore be in play for the show.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful.
Hell yeah! You want to do some awards here?
Why not?
So I'll let you start off with your Tarantino, which would be our best quote or your favorite quote, however you may look at it.
Okay. Finding a best quote from Borat was a bitch. But I have two. My first one, and you forget just how, it's been 14 years, and culture has changed so drastically about what you're allowed to say, what's considered funny, what's considered offensive. I forgot how fucking hard this movie went for complete offense, and I loved it. So it's the scene where he's at a dinner party in the South. He's learning, he learned etiquette, and he's talking to these people, and he asked everybody, what do you do? And this guy goes, oh, I'm recently retired. And he just goes, you are retard. No, that's not what it is. And he just he's like, it is weird. It's so good of you to have retard at your table. He's just like, I'm not retarded. I'm retired. It caught me off guard. And
100%.
I was cackling.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
Jesus Christ.
My other one was just as soon as I heard it, I'm like, there's no way. I can't move past that. That was too funny. So the line is, are you telling me the man who tried to put a rubber fist in my anus was a homosexual?
Yeah, that's the first one on IMDb for a fucking reason. Oh my God. When I was rewatching it, I mentioned earlier that I was cackling like a child. That's one of the moments. Oh my God. He went there. Oh geez, so good. That's a great line to get the Tarantino.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
No, just those two. Yeah. Go to town, buddy.
Right. I got one. I have. It's gonna be hard to get through, even though it's really short. It's when Borat finds his producer naked.
Yep.
Jerking off, and he says, "How dare you make hen party over Pamela?"
Holy shit. That whole scene. My God.
Bonkers. Absolutely bonkers, right? The first time I saw that, I couldn't believe my eyes. That there were these two, one kind of skinny, mangly, naked man, this one giant naked man just running through, punching each other, being
through the whole fucking hotel, like through a conference. Unreal.
So good, so good. It makes me almost like it makes it hard to breathe. How dare you make a party over Pamela?
I did have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I took it off. I figured three was too much, but fuck it. It was.
This is the movie for it.
It's when he is finally finds Pamela Anderson and presents her with the wedding sack, and she turns down his offer, and he says, "quote agreement not necessary," and then throws her in the fucking bag and tries to drag her out of the bookstore. Oh my god. It's just out of fucking nowhere and just so funny, and everyone's just freaking out. Her fans attack him. Her security is like stomping on him. It's oh my god, he's chasing her through the bookstore.
God.
Yeah, my lord.
Oh man.
That was on my best scene award until something else happened and then it got replaced.
That's how you know it's a funny movie, when moments keep topping the last one.
Yeah.
And that's what he does. Let's move on to the Ennio.
Okay. It was tough for this movie. Music's not really its strong suit, but I had to stand in awe at the fake Kazakhstan anthem in the end credits. The most ridiculous, over the top, stupid as hell national anthem for Kazakhstan.
At the rodeo, oh my gosh.
It was that until the end credits where it was like official.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Ennio for me goes simply to the intro music. The ding, 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 ding. Because when I hear that, I know where I'm going. And it's gonna be a wild and fun ride.
God, it feels just so offensive. I love it. It's so mind-blowingly stupid.
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Oh my god.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, my stomach hurts, man. Just I'm laughing a lot. I can't even make a noise.
Oh god.
Just because he does such a good job of ingraining himself in your brain. And right when you hear that ding, 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 you know exactly. You're like, oh god, here we go. About to be uncomfortable as fuck for a while. Oh man. Let's talk about performances. The PSH.
I think we all know who that's going to. I mean, obviously, Sacha Baron Cohen.
If there was a second place.
Pamela Anderson, actually. Because she was in on it.
I gotta go. I don't know how to properly say her name. Llewellyn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Llewellyn Campbell, I believe is her name. Yeah, that's who I'll go with. Heat check performance where she's just a kind lady, you know.
Yeah.
And who else is in there? Well, and then of course Ken Davitian, the guy who plays the producer.
Azamat.
Yeah, that scene is so ridiculous. Yeah, Azamat Bagatov.
My favorite moment with him is
he's unreal.
He says, like, you know, Borat asks him about the bear, and he says, "Oh, she ran off." And then later on in his apartment, he opens the fridge, and you see the fucking bear's head sitting in the fridge, like he fucking ate the bear. They never address it. It's just there in the background for you to notice. I love that.
Yeah. Of course, it's perfect.
But yeah,
perfect.
Honestly, I love that Pamela Anderson was in on this, but her security team was not. So
yeah, which is perfect.
I thought her reaction was pretty genuine. I thought she did a really decent job of just acting fucking terrified.
What the fuck? She's just running. Pamela.
I'm not attracted to you anymore. Not. God damn it.
That part is great. The not scene. When he's the guy's telling him about jokes. Oh my gosh.
This suit is black knot.
Yeah. my sister, she make fun of Bilo. You will never get this. La 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 la.
Holy shit.
That part is so. How does that guy handle that?
And if somebody came to me and started talking like that, honestly,
I'd be squirming.
I'd be like, this guy's probably mentally ill.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, when he's like plucking at himself and he's like la 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 la, like yeah, you would think this person is not right. Like, what, are you okay, man? Do you need some help? It is unbelievable. Those things that when he says stuff like that, you're like, what the hell, man? Well, and before we get to the Deacons Award, I'll bring up something from the sequel that I thought that probably did not work for a lot of audience members, was the scene at the crisis pregnancy center.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Woo!
That was dark.
And the stuff he's saying there is like, that's the stuff where you're like, why am I laughing? Oh my gosh. Like, wow. It gets to the point, the places that, South Park goes to, where you're like, whoa. Like, damn, they went there. This shit is going there, and it's fucking nuts.
Well, the fact that the doctor, who believes that this is a case of incest, still is like, God gave you that baby and that's your responsibility. Like, what the fuck, man? People actually think that in this country. It's unreal. And movies like this really show you that, this is a good portion of the population.
Yes, I agree. Then again, when I thought about it again, I heard someone say this about the film at work. This guy stays pretty fucking calm, considering how he finds out that wait a minute, because he says, you keep calling her your daughter. Is that your father? And she's like, yes. And he's like, okay. You're like, what? How are you not like, I gotta call the cops right now? Like, I gotta figure out a way to get some help in this situation. This guy is clearly like an incestual and not right, not mentally well, and neither is she.
Yeah. And
I agree with you. That guy probably isn't either. But he handles that situation somehow with some calmness. I don't know how he did it.
The thing is, I think that this film and the first one really showcase a big issue that a lot of, I think, Americans especially have. Most people do not want to get involved.
Oh my God, right? Just look the other way. Yeah.
If that situation comes to you and you don't want to be a part of this. You don't want your life to get complicated. You don't want to be involved. The least you want to do is just say like, hey, God will provide, and then fuck out. That's the vibe I got from a lot of the people that he talks to. It's just,
100%.
I don't need this in my life. So I'm going to just talk this through and then never see this fucker again.
It goes down to the simplest things of like not wanting to wear a mask. Like, fuck it. Just little lifestyle things that's
why I love The Babysitter so much.
Yeah.
She was a real person who recognized that this was a fucked up situation and actually tried to help her. That is amazing. And she
was great. She was like the Lil of the movie. Yeah. She's great.
You be my new black wife.
She's like, please stand away. We can talk better like this, you idiot. Like, God. Yeah, she was great.
I love that everyone who saw that movie has kind of been like, yeah, she was awesome. And they've already like started a GoFundMe that's already raised like $100,000 for her as like a best supporting actress salary.
Wow.
Unreal.
that is fantastic. Good for people and good for her.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, but just
incredible, man. Incredible what this movie did. Let's go ahead and get to that Deacons now.
Okay.
Here we go. What is the best scene? What's your favorite scene of the movie?
For me, it is the Pentecostal church. That was so weird, but so believable. Where Borat has lost everything, finds himself asleep on the steps of a Pentecostal church, goes in there, and just listens to this sermon of this guy who's like, I believe in Jesus, and Jesus is the Lord, and he will provide. Like, just crazy ass Southern Pentecostal minister. And then Borat comes up there and it's like, will Jesus love me? Will Jesus love my sons? Jesus, love my retarded brother Bilo. And nobody fucking catches on. There's this guy speaking in tongues next to Borat. Like, what the fuck? It feels so staged, but it's not.
Now, yes, now that's a good scene. You know, you and I have talked a bit about, you know, about some of my prior experiences with, you know, I used to do some mission work, right? Yep. And so I won't go down that road completely right now. That's not what this is for, but there were times where I was in situations similar to that, right? Where people very much believe in, you know, that we can speak in tongues and whatnot in those situations. And there were times where I was challenged, like, why aren't you speaking it? You know, that sort of attitude. So that scene is not only funny, it's incisive as shit. And for that reason, it's very funny. It's very funny because, like you said, that shit is real, man. That shit is as real as The Exorcist.
Yeah. That's like fucking snake handler church. Like that's scary. I don't trust any church that's in like a tent or like a big old like warehouse. Like there's some shit going on under the table.
Yeah, it's wild, man. That stuff is wild. Yeah, what a great, like, the place that he goes in his mind, wherever Sacha was able to go during that scene, during that bit, it's amazing. It's a skill. It's a craft.
Damn straight.
Man, you brought this up earlier. My Deacons goes to the dinner party.
Yep.
This is the scene that I have, for the past, 10, 12 years, have looked up on YouTube over and over. I just adore every single line from this part. It was very hard. That's why I left it out of the Tarantino, because I didn't want to overlap. I think you brought up earlier when the man says I'm retired now, and and then it keeps going. It goes the whole time to where when he's leaving, running out of the house, has the retard escaped? What? Unbelievable. He poops in a bag and hands it to the homeowner, and the pastor's like, "Oh man, I think it's time for me to go home." It is a perfectly executed improvisational, comedic scene. Perfect.
In my country, they would go crazy for these two. Not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
Good God.
Yeah.
I love when he walks away and like they are talking about him, and one like redhead lady's like, well, there is some cultural differences, but I think he's really charming.
Yeah, she's like, I think he has a chance. And that's when he brings the bag of shit. He just brings, and then she explains to him how to use a toilet. And he's like, you wipe? And she's like, no, you wipe your own ass. Oh, it's just unbelievable. I believe that scene is in Georgia, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. The stuff he does to Southern people in the United States. Which is where we are, which is in the middle. We're in San Antonio, right? Yeah. Most of our Filmgazm listeners that come back probably know that we're from live in Texas and record out of San Antonio, and very much live within a community that there's a lot of Trump stuff everywhere. And so when you're seeing that community kind of be exposed and, let's be frank about it, be made fun of in a movie, it's so surreal. So surreal.
It really is. It's bonkers to understand that not only is this not like a couple wackos, this is a good chunk of the country. On the world stage, we look like monsters.
Yeah, man. Yeah, from 2006 to 2020, both of them, he just kind of exposes an era of the United States.
Well, the thing is, like in 2006, like we just looked like morons. Nowadays, we look like we're the fucking bad guy. And it hurts.
The wild, wacky bad guys. Yeah.
We're the fucking, it's crazy. And we need films like this to show the world, A, we're not all like that, and B, we can make fun of it, and we have to.
Yeah, for sure. I think what's most I guess I'll use the word important about this second one, the sequel coming out on Amazon Prime is hopefully people just kind of watch it, because, a lot of people are going to go into it that are already on the same page.
Yeah.
So you're kind of preaching to the choir, but
True.
exposed to it that are going to be challenged by it, are going to be like, whoa, shit, that's me. Like, that's how I am. What the fuck? You know, you just, yeah, it's hard for that to happen. But I think through a streaming service is the best way.
True. I'm glad it worked out like that. I know that there was this was supposed to be released theatrically, but Amazon bought it for like $70 million, some crazy astronomical amount of money. Yeah. And now everybody got a chance to see it. I mean, it's been blowing up.
Hell yeah, dude. It's I mean, it's the funniest movie of the year, but that's not very hard to do, you know.
Yeah. What's its competition? Like The War with Grandpa?
The Gentleman. You know, and The Gentleman's not a comedy through and through, so it's a different kind of it's hard to compare. The Gentleman's a way better movie. For me, I don't know if you like Borat 2 more. I like The Gentleman like quite a bit more.
Yeah, The Gentleman is a 10. That's for sure. For me, that's still my favorite film of the year.
It's up there. Topped. It's up there. Borat is just one of the funniest movies of the year. That's it.
True. It was I don't want to say it's the feel-good movie of the fall.
Yeah, no.
I felt better after watching it.
It's very funny, and it is incisive. I don't want to just say that's only funny. It is incisive. I just don't think it's one of the like best movies of the year.
True. We don't really have a lot of those to pick from.
No, but I think there are some. You know, we brought up movies on this show and the Filmgazm show like Onward and The Invisible Man, The Gentleman. There have been some, you know, Defy Bloods. There's been some that are, I think, you know, pretty strong. Trial of Chicago 7. Some strong movies.
We'll definitely have enough for a Gazzies Awards in January. So
yeah, and a new award that I wanted to just kind of talk about. Why not now on air? Fuck it. Is an MVP, Most Valuable Performer, and I think we should have 3 or 4 performers, male or female, and I think Sacha's in the running for that.
Okay.
We could name it something different, but I think it'd be a really cool award to give out. Something where someone did multiple things throughout the year.
There'll be some slim pickings this year, but I like the idea.
Yeah, well, the point is for the future, and of course, in recent years, there's one guy named Josh Brolin who played Thanos and Cable in the same year. Whoa.
Yeah, definitely. I think we do need to shine a light on people who pick some good goddamn scripts for the year. So people who poured a lot of themselves into multiple characters, and that's tough to do.
Exactly.
Right on. So with that, let's anything else you want to add talk about Borat?
No, man, I of course we talked a lot about both films, and I just encourage people to check all of his stuff out.
Yes, indeed.
All of his performance. Like we obviously like Sweeney Todd. One that we didn't talk about is the Grimsby Brothers is pretty funny. He's got all kinds of shit. You can always find something that you'll dig.
Yes, indeed. He does. He's got his passion projects, but he also will just appear randomly in a comedy.
Yeah.
Or drama. He's pretty versatile.
Very, very much so. And he's about to be 50 soon, and I think he's going to have a really cool next 10 to 20 years of his career.
Hell yeah. With that, let's talk about what happened this week in film. Oscar Isaac has joined the MCU as Moon Knight. Very intriguing. Moon Knight is a weird character. And Oscar Isaac's a great performer. I'm sure he's going to do wonders with that. Best I can say, like the best comparison I can make to Moon Knight is like a psychotic Batman.
Hell yeah.
Who has powers that come from ancient Egypt. It's a very weird. Yeah. So that's probably going to be a Disney Plus series. Good for him.
Yeah, man. Now he's in Star Wars and MCU.
True.
Bang,
bang. The trailer for George Clooney's new film, The Midnight Sky, was released. Netflix original, going to drop on December 23rd. Stars George Clooney and Felicity Jones and Kyle Chandler. Looks grim, but fascinating.
Yeah. I saw that earlier today, and George Clooney feels like I haven't been, wildly impressed by him, over this past decade, and I'm ready for it.
Well, he's been, developing his tequila brand. Shit like that.
Exactly. Of course. What's more important than that,
I think he just sold it for like $1 billion or some crazy.
Jesus. The guy's a genius, and I do really like him. I haven't been wowed by him in quite some time.
I want to be George Clooney rich, where I can just like walk past $100 bill and just ignore it like it's a dirty penny.
Yeah, but see, those are the guys that are as rich as him. Don't do that, like guys like Bill Gates are like everything. They're those kind of freaks with their money, which is why they're where they're at, and the rest of us just consume.
Clooney, past decade, what has he? Nothing really comes to mind. Nothing memorable. I think The Monument Men is the closest thing I got.
Descendants, Monuments Men, Ides of March.
I thought you loved The Descendants.
I really, really enjoy his performance in The Descendants for sure. That's almost 10 years ago now. It's been a while. It was in 2011, and Robert Forster is really he steals the fucking show in that movie. He's not in it a lot, but good God, he's incredible. What else has he been in this past decade? I'll look him up real quick because we're probably missing something.
Tomorrowland, he did that one.
Gravity, he was in 2013.
Gravity, yep. I liked him in that.
Yeah, me too. He is good in that. That's the most recent.
Yeah.
Hail Caesar. I know you're not a huge fan, and I'm not big into it, but I do like him in it.
Yeah.
That was 2016. Money Monster.
I thought that was pretty good.
Monuments Men, Tomorrowland, and Gravity. So yeah, it's not like a lot of stuff. Ides of March, The Descendants, The American is in 2010. Hate that movie. Hate it. Yeah, man. I'd say my favorite of those is it's probably his performance in Gravity. It's probably my favorite, but I do like his performance in Descendants as well.
He needs another Up in the Air or a Burn After Reading.
Oh my God. Up in the Air is, him and Vera are wonderful.
Make no mistake, we all die alone. God damn.
Tough stuff.
That movie's a heat check. We got to do that at some point.
Of course.
Killer. Next up, they recently announced a 5th Insidious film with Patrick Wilson making his directorial debut, which is interesting. I haven't seen Insidious 4. I gave up after 3, and I think they should stop. Let him, focus more on the Conjuring franchise. I think Insidious is dead in the water. Only the first one was any good.
I am now willing to throw it a bone, though. I really, really like Patrick Wilson. And that's a kind of, I feel the same way about him doing this, stepping out and doing the directing thing. I'm not too interested about the title, but I feel my emotions about him stepping into the chair like, oh man, I feel similarly as I did when like someone like Paul Dano did it for Wildlife. I'm like, hell yeah. Show that shit. Do that, man. Step out there, do what you got to do. Bradley Cooper, Stars Born, do your fucking thing. Of course, I wish it was a little bit different movie, but he obviously has a passion for horror, obviously. Yes. And maybe this 5th one, maybe he has something up his sleeve. Maybe this could be the most memorable one of all 5. Who knows?
That's true. It did take 5 movies for Fast and Furious to become relevant.
Yeah, man. A lot of people say that that's the first like truly good, solid, entertaining one. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. It's possible, and I only say that because I have so much hope for Patrick in whatever he does, because I really, really admire the guy.
He is a great performer, and I'm sure he's gonna wow us with his direction. I just hope the studios don't interfere too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of horror, Jordan Peele has announced that he is going to be producing a remake of Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs. Very excited for anything Jordan Peele puts his name on. Interesting that this is the one he would pick to redo. This one's kind of goofy. I haven't seen The People Under the Stairs, but I know it's kind of a black comedy almost.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to watch that. I mean, I do, plan on seeing everything Wes Craven did. I mean, we do a horror podcast as well. We should probably, see everything he did.
Oh
But,
yeah, 100%. And the book knows.
The book knows. The book knows all. And that is all for this week in film. What are we doing next week on Oscar Sunday?
Oh man, next week is going to be so much fun. We're going to be able to revisit some films. You're going to be able to see a classic that you haven't seen. That's because we're going to talk about our boy Aaron Sorkin. centered around Moneyball from 2011. Fantastic movie that obviously he wrote, directed by Bennett Miller. Has these two awesome performances from Brad Pitt, Jonah Hill, and you got guys like PSH in there, throwing around, putting their hat into the ring. And it's just a fantastic movie. One of the most underrated movies of the past decade, I think. In my opinion, should have won Best Picture, but we'll talk about that next week. I can't wait to go down the Sorkin road. We'll obviously watch Moneyball. We're going to talk a little bit more about Travel to Chicago 7. We'll do some Social Network action. We'll do some Molly's Game action. And then a movie that had nominations, but not a screenplay, somehow, 1992's A Few Good Men.
Wow.
God damn, what a full slate. I hope you guys come prepared. A lot of these movies are on streaming services right now. So I encourage you to go back down that road. If you have seen some of these, just revisit them. They're so good. So good. And I know you're amped to finally see A Few Good Men.
Very amped. Just to run them down off the top of my head, Moneyball is on Amazon Prime. Molly's Game is on Netflix.
Yes.
A Few Good Men is also on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Trial of the Chicago 7, obviously a Netflix original.
Yes.
And Social Network, also on Netflix.
Exactly.
Our whole run is on streaming. So fantastic.
That was, we want to do that kind of on purpose. And, of course, the great streaming service of Netflix, when they release a movie of, these guys that they're trying to back, like Aaron Sorkin for Trial of Chicago 7, they'll add a bunch of their movies if they can. They've done this for Noah Baumbach. They've done this for Scorsese. They'll continue to do it. And it's one of my favorite things that they do as a service is they kind of give you, hey, here's an extra little palette of shit by Sorkin for the Trial of Chicago 7. So please join us next week. We're going to have so much fun. What are we doing on Filmgazm this week?
We got a very special one on Filmgazm. This week we're doing Hatchet. It's my first run with a different host. Josh Allred and I are going to be doing that one. It's Filmgazm contributor Caleb Legay's personal pick. So we're going to go really in depth on this 2006 slasher that I have yet to see. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be different. So brace yourself. It's going to be cool.
Can't wait, man. I can't wait to listen to that one and watch some Hatchet. Never seen it either.
Right on. I've heard interesting things. Horror fans love it. Regular movie fans, I don't know. So we will see.
Oh man! Well, the poster alone, what does it say? It's like old school American horror. Like let's go.
Oh boy!
And that, of course, that turns some people off. Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like I'm going to end up being that guy. Oh shit!
Oh well, that's all right. You'll have Sorkin to look forward to after that. If it's not up to your liking, but I hope you enjoy it, man.
I hope so too. We'll see. And
you'll have some fun with it. I know Caleb's a huge fan. So
yes, indeed. And you can catch that next Wednesday, and we'll have Moneyball and some Sorkin action for you next Sunday.
Hell yeah, man! The train keeps rolling. Y'all have a good week.